Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the chat room. On the couch today, with great expense to the Clarny advertiser, let me tell you. All the way from the Muckross Park Hotel, we have local legend, Mr. Danny McClure. Danny, how are you?
Good now.
Thanks for calling to see us.
Not at all. I heard you first trouble this week trying to get a man in at his physical peak, just like your last interviewee.
Hi, Aidan O'Mahony. Thanks. How are things?
Good now.
How are things out in Muckross Park?
Very busy, thank God.
Yeah, all up and running.
Getting their communions and confirmations and weddings, you name it. And the bars are very busy, so great, thank God. Yeah, the season's looking good.
You're here today to talk to us about one of the main bar, in particular, that has undergone a name change.
That's correct. Yes. Major Colgans.
Major Colgans.
Yeah, Major Colgans.
Who, why, and what?
Well, where do I begin? There's such an extensive history of the hotel, obviously.
Yeah, because it's been there for...
It's been about over 200 years.
Wow.
There's been a property there, and this is a small part, but a significant part of our history. So we have a new investment in the bar out in the Muckross Park Hotel, which is now called Major Colgans. Mm-hmm. There's been €250,000 invested in.
Yeah, that's a bit of an investment.
It is. It certainly is.
Right.
That's with a newly refurbished bar, and indeed extending the kitchen to cater for maximised experience for guests when they come out, and to cater for a wonderful new menu. Okay. So with
kind of gastropub kind of thing.
Yeah, gastropub feel to it. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So with new investment and a new kitchen, new bar comes a new name. There's a very long history to the hotel. Okay. Various different owners. And one of the more, I suppose, recent ones in terms of 70, 80 years ago was Major Colgan.
Okay. Oh, he actually owned the hotel.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So the Major story is a long one as well, but his story in terms of Muckross is that during the Second World War, at the very end of his career in the army, he became stationed in Muckross. He was a regular visitor then to the hotel, and up and down to the bar. Was very fond of cigars.
Okay.
Very fond of cigars. So he used to come in, get his cigars, and off back over to the barracks.
And how did he end up buying, or I suppose he bought it?
Well, I suppose a man at the end of his career in the army needs something else to do, maybe,
true. Yeah.
And he fell in love with the area, obviously frequented the hotel, and perhaps became accustomed with that establishment as well, and decided to buy it on the passing of Mrs. Margaret Ross. She was Nee Joy. Joy would have been the local family name. Okay. Ross being a name that came from Scotland in the 1870s. And Margaret Ross, Nee Joy, had married Jonathan Ross, the last of that.
Still a few Joys out in Muckross as well,
There's still a few Joys out in Muckross. I'm sure there'll be descendants of Margaret's family out there. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And when Mrs. Ross passed away in 1946... it ended a kind of a 70-year period of that name associated with it, and Major Colgan decided to take it over and ran it for throughout the next decade until his passing in the early 1960s.
Okay.
And I suppose at that stage then in his passing, his wife stayed living in Killarney and living in the Muckross Park Hotel actually.
Oh wow!
Until the 1976.
Oh wow! So as recent as that?
Yeah. And she became they both became very good friends with the local Fuller family. Who still, live in and around the area as well. Yeah. And they became very good friends with the Fuller family. In fact, Mrs. Colgan would be a godmother to one of the Fuller family as well.
All right.
And she would have lived within the hotel with the Fullers, took on ownership together.
Okay.
And then afterwards, the Fuller family, of course, took it on through the 1980s as well.
Brilliant. So Major Colgans, that's obviously where the name comes from. It's open.
It is open 7 days a week. 4 nights a week we have our traditional Irish nights.
Oh, brilliant!
Which are great crack.
I've heard they're great crack.
Yeah. No, we've Honora, a fabulous local band for many years. They play out there, and we have them 4 nights a week with the Shinshori dancers as well. The interaction, the crack, the music, while dining is fantastic.
I think we've a clip. Let's have a look. Danny, that looks like great crack.
It's great fun. It's great fun. The interaction of the night with the customers, wonderful traditional Irish food. You know, it's great fun, great experience. So you can see why it's so popular in its location, right on the Ring of Kerry.
Right at the end of the Ring of Kerry.
Right at the end of the Ring of Kerry. A lot of guests, when they come up and they book a day out on the Ring of Kerry, you'll be dropped off outside when you come back, you know, because this is the Ring of Kerry. You're on the Ring of Kerry, the start and the finish, you know. So
the start and the finish. I love. So Major Colgan, was it the Irish Army he was a major in?
Yeah, I suppose Major Colgan's story is a long one, like most. But to put it briefly, the Major was born in Kildare. He's the youngest of 11 children, and he went on to have an illustrious career in the army. And that all started really with the Easter Rising in 1916.
Oh wow, he was actually...
He was an unsung hero of the Easter Rising, one of many men, I suppose. He would have marched with Domhnall Buachla from Maynooth, one of 15 men. They marched along the canal to the GPO on the Tuesday of Easter week.
Wow.
And they fought in the GPO. He mentions in his diary, which is an account that all of the soldiers wrote afterwards. He mentions shaking the hand of General Collins as he entered the GPO. He himself then became a friend of General Collins in the years afterwards.
So the food looks good out there.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, with the new kitchen...
I love my food, Danny.
You're not the only one, Kieran. No, with the new kitchen, our chef, who's been with us for a couple of years now, local man, moved home with his wife and children. John O'Leary's from Kilcummin.
Kilcummin, man.
He's on a high now over the last couple of weeks.
They all are, don't start.
Yeah, they've done very well on the field over the last couple of weeks. John actually has a few cousins playing on the team.
Oh, brilliant. So he was definitely celebrating.
He's been a very busy man over the last couple of weeks, but he still found time to pop out for the match.
Have to do the important things, then.
Absolutely. No, John's an award-winning chef.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're very lucky to have with us, and he's a fabulous team. John's won several accolades since joining us in the Muckross Park.
It looks great. I'd definitely be out for a bite.
It's a great place to go for a bite, be it a Sunday afternoon, be it for one of our Irish nights on 4 evenings a week, you know, or just on a random evening that you find yourself, especially with the long evenings.
Danny, it sounds awesome. It looks fantastic. I think I'd definitely be heading out to Major Colgan's for a bite to eat with sample the all the delicacies. Thank you so much. Best of luck with it. Major Colgan's is open now in the Muckross Park Hotel. Definitely give a call out and see what the crack is. Danny, appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, Kieran.